I am in Moab, Utah right now, and it's absolutely beautiful. But I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Tesla Tech and coming down to Albuquerque. And I have to tell everyone it was the 2026, and it's well worth getting the online access to watch all of the 5 days worth of presentations because well it's amazing the amount of intelligent people that are there, world class breakthrough science and technology. It blows the mind. And if you haven't been before, you want to be there for 2026 because it's going to be even better. And I just a couple days ago streamed with Terrence here in a couple of weeks' time once I'm back in Canada, and he's committed to coming back for Tesla Tech 2026 as well. So it's amazing. And Steve, you're an absolute legend for making this event and doing it for 40 years, and I appreciate it, sir.
Thank you. And so outside of Terrence, which speaker do you like best, or do you have any favorites?
Sorry, I can't really hear because I'm eating dinner in the background here. So I figured I'd hop in quickly just to say hello and try to shill as many sales for you as possible because it is just worth it. It's worth it. It's amazing. It's a wealth of knowledge, and Steve needs the support so we can make it happen again next year.
Yeah, thank you for helping out.
It's the least I could do, sir. The least I could do.
Yeah, unfortunately, Terry's truck broke down about 300 miles back towards Las Vegas. It broke down. We had to tow him in the rest of the way.
I went to the Moonlight Gathering conference in Duchesne, Utah. Here, that's where I am in Moab, just coming back from it. But I met and connected with a whole bunch of other speakers that are also into the advanced health through energy and frequency, as well as breakthrough technologies. So I'll be sending you an email, Steve, with some of their contacts, as I highly recommend getting some of them booked for next year, especially Dr. True and his ultimedium metal that is a type of monoatomic iridium. But that's a conversation for another day. Absolutely love everything you've done, Mr. Ellswick, and we'll be in touch.
Well, thank you. Thanks for hopping in here. And I'd like to encourage other people to go in here, especially if you've been on the show, at the show. We have had a lot to offer there. Next year, it's another year. I'll be issuing a call for papers in about another couple of weeks. I do need people to take and sign up for the YouTube channel. I'm trying to get more videos up there in the next couple of weeks. If our plans go as expected, we will probably be moving here in a couple of weeks. And so, anyway, I need to just cutting off a bit. Are you talking about the sound? Or is that just Bernie? Anyway, I do want to go to let's see, to do another show next week, next year, 2026, August 12th to 16th. We'll be putting out a call for paper, and I don't know why the sound is choppy. Okay. Maybe if I turn that down, is that better? Okay. And am I unmuted now? Can anybody hear me? Next week, we will be having a special guest with us. I don't know how many of you have heard of Vernon Roth. Uh, Vernon Roth has went and showed back up. He disappeared for many years there, you know. Then at this conference, he showed up and even emceed some of the sessions in that. So so thank you, Vernon, for showing up, and I hope to see you here next week uh, with another presentation. Um, there are some people um, that I missed at this conference, and right now I'm trying to find out if with us anymore. Um, it's hard to determine, you know. We have so many people who seem to be going out the door, you know, in our lives and our lives, you know. When one disappears, you know, without being able to have any knowledge of what happened, it's kind of disruptive, you know. And right now I have my phone is full of people who I suspect are no longer with us, and I have no real way of telling. I started trying to find obituaries in their hometowns. It's pretty sad. But anyway, at least Bernie came back to life for us, and we expect to see him back next week here at Steve's place. We should be in a better shape by then. I may even have 2 monitors set up at that point, and my new computer. I just got a new computer, so that should help us with some of these issues we're having. And if anyone has any comments, you know, as far as like who they'd like to see at that next year's conference, if you have an email address, I'll send them a call for papers when I send it out. You know, for those who want to order, I want to reiterate, we do have to cover this humongous bill at the hotel. And right now, I'm trying to raise funds for it, and that's where the DVD sales come in, and the DVD sales, the YouTube memberships, and the HowTube video on demand come in. They all help us pay these bills, you know, that are left over from the conference. You know, unfortunately, these conferences aren't free. I'd love to make them free, you know, but the problem is I don't have the money to do that, you know, and so that's where we have to all pitch in and cover things. I would do that by, you know, like I say, you know, DVD sales, YouTube memberships, and video on demand. It's going to be a particularly challenging year. I know that we all are kind of stretching our pennies, you know. I've been keeping the wolves away. When the wolves been at my door for so long, I said, screw it, I'll just make them a pet. I have my pet wolves, you know. But anyway, it's well worth the effort. We are pushing the limits of reality here as far as physics are concerned. This year we had Terrence Howard at the conference. For those of you who don't know it, Terrence Howard is the sidekick, I guess you go up to Iron Man there. Iron Man had a wingman. He'd be the wingman. There you go, the wingman for Iron Man, and that kind of sets the tone because, in a way, that's kind of what we're working towards. And that's what we're working towards at our conference. You know, is to take and build a actual Iron Man suit. You know, I could see us. You know, like if you ever look at the power thing on Iron Man, you know, the thing that's in his heart, it looks a lot like a rodent coil, you know, Who knows? That may be the secret to us powering an Iron Man suit. So who knows? Who knows? So anyway, and I just remind everyone, like if they like our shows and that, whenever you get a chance, you should always do the thumbs up. Just to uh, get the YouTube censors to find us, or not the censors, but the search engines. For those of you who don't know how, you go to the webpage teslatech.info, and you see this yellow box here, and on the top part you click the Teslatech channel, and with that, it gets you to the channel where you can join, become a subscriber. Subscriptions are free. You should at the very least become a subscriber, because the one thing subscriptions do is it takes and it gives you notifications when we throw up more videos than that, so you get notified right away. Um, so you should become at least a subscriber. It also helps uh, the YouTube channel search engines find us easier, because the bigger of an audience, the more they like to take and use you, so they can make their money too. Um, and then we also have a conference directory. Every conference we have up there, you can just go to that conference directory and you can just scroll there, and every conference we have in YouTube will be on there. When you click on it, it brings up that playlist, which has all the videos that are in that conference in one place. It's the same thing with the speaker directory, only it's for speakers. Like you look up, I don't know, Paul Pantone. Paul has probably about at least 16 videos up there, and it has them all listed, so you just click on them. And it also tells you if it's a free one or if it's a member only. The member only ones, we charge $9.99. I know times are rough, and I know that people like to stretch their dollars, but these dollars helps us keep alive our work, and allows us to go out there and do more work. Unfortunately, we don't live in a society where everything's free yet. Um, like Star Trek. I don't know. Did you ever see anyone on a Star Trek looking for a pay raise or something, or ever spend any money? Um, and then again, what would they spend money on? When you get out there in your space, you know, um, money is kind of like I don't know. I can't think of the word. It's a concept, It's not really as much as a physical thing like it seems to be down here. But yet, I guess they have to get paid somehow. Anyway, we have crypto. Well, who knows? It could be a form of cryptocurrency, uh, which we have evolving here. Money, and economics is a dismal science, and it has a unique history of its own. It has been the cause of war after war. It's empowered empires, and without money, things just seem to go slower. It's funny how that works out. Personally, the money I get is to use it to do things, And it's so important, that we get out here and do things like, become a member at $9.99 a month. Really helps out. You'd be surprised. So anyway, I noticed there's a lot of people who are on our show, like Shri. Shri was at the conference. I know he was having a great time. And here you go. You can sell NFTs for your tickets. I can show you a lot of ways to work with crypto, but it's a lot not easy if you already have a full plate. And yeah, that's my problem. However, one of my business partners, Terry Wolf, with Go Wolf, he has his own crypto coin now. And once we get that in circulation, things should ease up a lot. I don't know if okay. So, what's the descriptor and on what chain? Okay. Um, I'll get him on here one of these days, and he can explain all about it, and how they can exchange it and everything. Uh, I know they put a lot of. Steve, did you get the did you get the Big Daddy plate? Of course I did. It's really amazing, When I first went to Albuquerque, the Big Daddy, which is this huge set of ribs, about that big, uh, they cost $16, and I thought that was outrageous. Well, now they're up to $37 for a plate of ribs. Unbelievable. You know, I think last year, I think it jumped about $10 in the last year here. You know, that brings me to another point. I know times are going to get rough, but you need to take time and do small things for yourself. Um, like for instance, if you like reading, read. One of the growth industries of the Depression was magazines. You know, uh, this this uh, this year, um, I still think magazines are important. I'm going to work hard. I am going to try to get the magazine back. If anybody has anything, an article or something they want me to consider publishing, send it in to Steve at teslatech.info, and we will definitely consider it. Um, I am looking into this thing called Substack. I'm not quite sure how that works, but that's one of the things I'm looking at. But in any case, it doesn't matter. I do want a physical presence of ink and paper, And yeah, Savage went off. Go ahead and send some Tesla Turbo news in, but no promises on publication. I need to get stuff in. A lot of stuff, people needs to be cleaned up, and sometimes reword. I don't want to see AI stuff. I don't need AI generated people. I want articles that are generated from the heart. That you have your own blood, sweat, and tears in, not some uh, computer collection of news. We can get that anywhere. But what really help us is if we can take and get the magazine back in print as a bona fide human endeavor, the latest technical stuff out there in the alternative energy world. Um, I know there's a lot of stuff on the internet and that's where we're different, and that's where we've always been different. Is we try to get stuff in writing. There's something like when I send out that program in the mail to you people, and you get that and you smell that ink, that makes people want to take. And here we go. Here we go, Mr.
Hello, sir. How you doing?
I am doing. Let me get this out of the way. How's that?
Oh, I feel so big on the screen now. Well, thank you for allowing me to jump on here really quick. I do have some news regarding some interesting Tesla turbine technology and research. So, fans and friends with Jeremiah Furward up here in Spokane, Washington, who's been developing very, very advanced Tesla turbine to work with cold steam. And you can jump on over, you can look up his Patreon page and see the kind of advancements he's been coming up with. But he finally received this control unit that is primarily for reading and logging the data from his system. How much power is going into the heat versus how much power is coming out from the turbine, how much steam is being used, water, et cetera, et cetera. So that part right there is at the completion point. And I have some contacts within Eastern Washington University. And I believe as of now, next week, there are going to be professors from the engineering department that do mechanical engineering, that do thermodynamic engineering, and fluid dynamics that are going to be going over there and taking a look at his setup and to start planning some initial testing and research papers on his setup. So pretty excited about that because it's really good. And the other thing is Jeremiah has been helping me kind of develop my own setup here, and this is kind of the V2 of the dual axis Tesla turbine. Turn it on one side, it also turns on the other. So we've got an interlocking system that allows both of these to rotate counterclockwise, and looking to also start creating this in full metal versions, and we'll probably be starting with watercraft propulsion as use cases.
Well, can I make a comment on that dual one?
Yeah, sure.
Put like a white dot on the spindles.
Yeah. Here, put maybe something like that.
I'm just looking at
I got a marker.
Yeah, a white marker will do it, or a white out.
Yeah, I've got something somewhere around here.
Then,
but yeah,
then you can see him spinning when you spin wings. Spin the other.
I've still got to replace some parts on here. I just recently got it up and working order, but here you can see if I turn it one way, it turns the other way. And no gears involved, so it's really pretty slick.
And a quick note there: did you know that Tesla's uncle invented the automatic transmission?
I did not know that. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm sure there's a lot of smart people in his family tree. I think his mom was an inventor as well.
Yeah, but I think a Tesla turbine is quite similar to an automatic transmission.
Probably. I've never really looked into how automatic transmissions are, but the interesting thing is I myself have gone through and done a lot of research on the different designs that people have come up with for Tesla turbines. And after watching Jeremiah's designs and a few others who have made it quite far, you get to a point where you can see where a lot of people have been manufacturing and creating them incorrectly based on an oversimplified explanation of how the whole system is supposed to work. And then because of that, whenever they do testing on those versions they built that are not built to the original specifications that Nikola Tesla outlined, then they don't perform the same. And so there's a lot of details that actually go into it. It's kind of like the difference between drawing a stick man and saying it's art versus drawing or making what was it, the David, the sculpture of David. It's kind of that big of a juxtaposition. And so when you go out there on YouTube and you see people like Tegza who have done rudimentary designs, and they're interesting and fun, but they're not practical. So just keep that in mind, and that where Jeremiah and Aaron Murakami are at right now as far as their designs, it's about to explode out. It's about to get really big, really fast.
Well, I wish him well. Jeff Hayes, by the way, I was at the conference.
Oh, cool. And I think Jeremiah mentioned that Jeff Hayes had mentioned him in his book. And the new one that's coming out.
Yeah, and Jeff says really gotten off into the medical realm, though. He's into Tesla's electric medicine, and that in a big way, and in a way that's different from what the conventional people are saying. But I get a reaction when I'm too close to Tesla coils, and that I can't handle them too long. because it dries out my throat and everything. And it's just I have a reaction to them.
No, that's something I have no experience or knowledge about, so I can't comment.
Yeah.
But I'll take your word for it. Jeff Hayes seems like a really smart guy. I've seen some of his older videos in your archives, and he seems like a really smart guy.
Jeff is very smart. I've known him for like, I don't know, 40 years. There, take a few. And we wrote the first book he ever put together. I taught him how to do that, and he did quite well. We co-authored a book, then he went off on his own, and the right never since. He was even the editor of the Tesla Society newsletter for a while.
Oh, nice.
So yeah.
I think there's a question there by Lynn.
How will the U.S. Genius Act affect your work?
I have no idea. It's basically me and my 3D printer in my basement. So, not any.
Yeah, I'll have to check into it. It's probably something to do with patents and that, I would imagine. I don't know. Do you want to clarify that, Lynn? So.
Yeah, but anyways, I just want to jump on and say, everybody, if you get a chance to look at Jeremiah's stuff, Energy Supply, he's got a Patreon. He's got a lot of updates that go on there, and it's getting pretty exciting. So
are you based in Spokane, or are you based out of Seattle?
Spokane. Yeah,
okay.
I'm just about 10 minutes from from his shop.
Anyway, well, is he going to have a conference next year, or do you know?
I have no idea. I don't generally get a chance to talk to Aaron that much. He seems like a pretty busy guy, but every once in a while I get a chance to hang out with Jeremiah, and we always have good fun.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Have a good one.
You too. Okay. So here we go. Talk by Dr. Yu. A magnetic universe is amazing. However, there are several unanswered questions. Okay, Shri, I might want to point out that Dr. Yu was on the conference, even though it says Terrence Howard. He came on about just before the conference. So you might want to check that out, and I'm sure he'll come on again in the future. He was very enthusiastic at the conference, and I'm very happy that we were able to get him and Terrence there, in tandem there. A lot of people know a lot of stuff. So anyway, anyone wants to get on there, StreamYard.com, DHI9, Tim F2. I'll probably do a short one this tonight because I am totally exhausted. Like I said, I've been on the go all week, just trying to produce things and traveling back to Las Vegas here. And then the truck breaking down did not help us. And we just now got the computers up. And I got to put another quote out for the credit card machine, which brings me back. Okay, thank you, Steve. Can't believe you're up, and that's soon after teslatech. Well, we have no choice. The worst thing about the conference is that the room they put my room, my big suite, the floor it was on, it's like half a floor, and the only way to my room was up steps, as the elevator was down for most of the time. The last day it finally came on, but that means I've been climbing up and running up and down steps all week long, about 20, 30 times a day, and now my knees hurt really bad. I may have to go to the hospital this week if they don't get any better. I hope it's just soreness. It will go away. I don't know, but it doesn't feel good to climb up. So I could barely climb up the steps to my house. So That's the last. I had a shaman for a roommate. Well, don't blame me. Yeah. Anyway, I think it was a good time. We had some pretty good food every night. A chance for people to sit down and meet. Um, we put out tickets this time, for people to get in line for food, and it worked out quite well. We didn't run out of food at all, and only had one or two places left. So it was. I called the shot as to how much food to put out there perfectly. Next year, some of the possibilities I'm thinking of is the Embassy Suites. We've had a conference there, and they were pretty nice until the management changed, and then they got pretty bad. But I think the management's changed again. The Marriott Pyramid, that is a good facility, and from what I understand, that they just got through renovating their ballrooms, so hopefully they wouldn't have any electrical problems. Like I said, we can't afford this equipment. Plus, we have to have a good, solid internet connection. That's a must for any place we go to now. Now that we're doing live streams, I am very pleased with the results of the live stream. Next year, I hope to do more. We're looking for people who want to be affiliates. So if you have a large following, a large email list, then you might want to consider being an affiliate and help sell the live streams, because we do pay 20%. So anyway, here you go. Thanks for the conference, Steve. We are flying back to the Netherlands as we speak. Regards, Mondo. Well, it was good having you there, Raimondo. I hope you had a good time. I know you did. I saw smiles on your faces. Okay, and the electrical grounding problem would have been a showstopper for me. Well, what we ended up doing, as soon as we found out we had a grounding problem, we were able to take and go to Home Depot, get a grounding rod, and drop it outside, into the ground. And that took care of most of the problems. It still had a little bit of other problems, but that took care of a big deal of it. It's a good thing that we have our AV staff are volunteers, but they're professionals, and they believe in what we're doing. Okay, and they put on for a solid week. They come in on Saturday, and they don't leave until Monday. And from that entire time, it's practically nonstop, work. And yet this is all volunteer. And if it wasn't for that, plus the equipment, the use of the equipment is donated. So these are the people that make this possible. Yeah, I get out there and I help, put together the program and everything. But once the program is laid out and the planning is done, the implementation is done by John Fiala and his team. His son John Arthur and his wife Patrice, and there's just a whole host of people there that go into the nuts and bolts of doing the conference. And that's not to mention Karen Elkins, who really put together that whole work, of a masterpiece together, known as the online guide. Over 150 pages of material about the speakers, the material that's available. She does that as a volunteer, and she does a great job of it. She's a very talented person. And we have to give her accolades there. And plus the fact she gets out there, she organizes these interviews between the speakers and that. It just adds so much to the conference, and then there's my right hand man in the bookstore, Rob Millhander. Rob is also a professional. He's been doing this kind of work forever. I met him back in the days when we had conferences in Loft, in February, and he'd be working with this guy Tim, who had UFO TV, and I would be working his butt off, making sure all the customers were taken care of, the products were always good. Well, he's just doing it here now, and we're talking. We're up at 7. By 7:30, we get up, get something to eat, and we have to have that bookstore open at 8, if not before. And it's just a lot of times it's been him. We get that up, and then we go all the way to about 7 o'clock at night. You're talking solid, solid work, and and again, it's as a volunteer, and you just don't know. It's because they believe in what we're doing. We believe in that we are changing the trajectory of science and technology from behind, Like you got these universities with all this money and everything, put all this stuff out. The people who I think affect the real change, the real groundbreaking change, they get not cases stolen. Are the garage workers, we're probably the only purveyor of experimental science out there, and as opposed to theoretical science, strictly theoretical. We have theorists, but you gotta have that, It's like Tom Bierman once said. He said a lot of free energy stuff are anomalies, and when you take and you can replicate that anomaly, okay, then you can start forming theories about how this works and everything. And once you get a theory and you can start doing measurements, and getting formulas, and once you start creating formulas that work, then you're into engineering. That means we cross the line from basically anomalies into actual workable commercial products, that you can do. Once you can take and quantify it, and you can take and measure it, and you can take and start doing things with it, you can start engineering. That's when it takes off on its own, and you're past the cutting edge at that point. So I've been doing this for 40 years. I've seen a lot of people come and dedicate their lives to this stuff. It's my hope that a lot of these experimenters who probably have something, don't take it to the grave with them, but help advance mankind with that, That's why I do what I do, and what I've been doing, what I'm doing for the last 40 years or so. I believe in technology, and it just saddens me to see that our society is turning away from science and technology, and they're going off into this another land of mythology, and we got to bring them back. That's to come next year. We're going to have a great conference. Sounds like Terrence Howard wants to come back. Maybe he'll bring Robert Downey with him. That would be a great thing. It'd be great if we could hand them some Iron Man suits. So, and suppression seems to be lifted little by little. I don't know about suppression. I think what happens is they found new forms of it. Uh, ridicule is a great form of suppression. They've used that in the UFO world for the last since the 1950s. Actually, even Tesla's time, because when Tesla uh, believed he was receiving signals from Mars when he started receiving these pulses, and the only place he thought they could come from is Mars, because he's the only person on the whole planet with a transmitter, and receiver, you know. So it was only logical. And at that time, Lowell Percy was talking about the canals on Mars, and they were drawing maps, they even had maps, of what the Martian canals look like and everything. So what happened? And there was an article in a newspaper about a paragraph in which it showed the face on Mars in this 1925 when they first came out with the teletype, kind of like a fax machine, a wireless fax machine back then. And the first thing that came out was a face on Mars. It's kind of weird, So they use the Martian connection as a means to denigrate people or ridicule them. And so they don't want to take and look at the anomalies anymore. And that, the only thing more conservative than a government scientist on a government grant is two scientists on a government grant. They don't like raising wages because then the money gets dried up. But now I guess it goes to Elon Musk, who, by the way, is working on going to Mars. The symmetry of it. I even have a 1992 conference, a Mars conference, that I put together for the Tesla Society. I have those videos now, and I like to get those out. Best Mars conference out there, pretty solid. We have people from Goddard, we have people from the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, we have people from Martin Marietta, Lockheed. We had them all there. It was a great conference. We even had the face of the moon people, the face of Mars people, and it was just a great conference. The only problem is it got snowed out. The day of the conference was record snowfall in Colorado Springs. Everything got shut down, and we had 10 people in the audience. So we turned it in from a conference to a movie set. I still got the footage. So yeah, like I say, if you order a set of DVDs today, August 17th, or tomorrow, August 18th, I'll waive the shipping and handling on that. And you get $100 off of the 2025 videos. Now, for previous years, we're getting $50 off. And most of those are reduced prices already, so $50 off is a lot. And if you buy the older DVDs from previous conferences, we'll give you $5 a DVD off those, and those are generally like $19 a DVD. So go ahead and check it out. Check out the spreadsheet. It's on the email I sent out. Drop me a line, Steve at teslatech.info if you didn't get the email. I say it again, Steve at teslatech.info, and I'll shoot you out an email with the information. I just finished putting together the order form, so it's online now, so you can go and check our website for that. And like I say, 3 things you can help us out with. Become a member of the YouTube channel. It really helps us out, and it's a great motivator for me to get more stuff out. Then the other one would be to buy DVDs. That helps us a lot. And finally, get the video on demand on how to. We have all the information up there online. Those 3 things, you can really help us out. And for me, I live on Social Security, and I got a small pension. very small, and it covers rent and that, which is which is more than enough right at this moment. Hopefully, though, we may be getting a bigger facility, and from what I understand, my rent will actually go down. So, anyway, help us out if you can. Also, if you feel so inspired on the how-to order forms, they allow you to take and give a donation right there on that page, and that goes, everything on that goes to us. Okay, and then here goes. Don Smith shared a lot of free energy information. Would be great if you can dig in your video archives and share any videos on the member YouTube channel. Hope I am not off topic. Well, no, you are not. You should go up there. Back to this page. Let me see if I can get this. Okay, go to this page here. And where's the speaker directory? Go look up Don Smith. Some of that should be up there. But a lot of Don Smith did was with the Tesla Society. And I have those videos. I just got to get to a space where I can dig them out and have the equipment out so I can take and start converting this stuff from VHS into video form, or into DVD form, and then from that to MP4s, so we can get them online at YouTube. And we will be doing that, like I say, as soon as we get the wherewithal to do it. And the same goes, we want to get the magazine up and running, but that's going to take us in another space to where I can spread out, while I work on this stuff. I think we're going to have a great year. 2026 will be a great year. We just have to get through this year, and we only have, I don't know, 4 more months to go. And it'll be Christmas already. And that brings me up to another topic. What How-To is doing is they're developing a way that you can take and buy a friend a video on demand, okay, as a gift. That should be coming out within the next month here. And once he does that, he'll be doing a video that shows you how to do that. And then you'll be a great Christmas gift. Will be a gift of knowledge. You can give these people their own video on demand access, which I think will be great. And they also have some other groups, up there as well. Psychotronics is now up on How-To. Randall Carlson, he's been doing it for quite some time now. And so How-To is going to be the place, for the video on demand stuff. And I eventually migrate over to YouTube as it becomes feasible. But again, it's just like, it does take time. Plus, YouTube is judgmental. And as you know, they've taken a couple of my videos down already. And I got in the next couple of months, I'm going to probably put them back up there underneath a different name. But now that we have everything's been disrupted. And anyway, with that, I'm just going to go ahead and call it a night. Unless anybody has any questions here, any more comments. I thank you all for being here. And next week, we're going to really try to get Vern up here. And Vern always has great material, especially when it deals with plasmas and that. So anyway, thank you all for coming, and we'll see you all next week. And